So, good morning. It is April 21st. I need to pin me so y'all only see my beautiful face. I mute everybody on Keto because that's how it works, because we were all talking at once. So, tomorrow we are going to be on a slightly different schedule. Tomorrow and Friday, we're going to be on a slightly different schedule. Okay. So tomorrow and Friday, our videos are going to start at 9:30. Okay. So they're going to start at 9:30, not at 10. Okay. I've got meetings on both days, so it's just how it has to work. Okay. So 9:30 on Wednesday and 9:30 on Friday. Okay. So I'll say that a lot today. Okay. 9:30. I know. But I'll post probably at 8:30, and then that gives us an hour heads up on it. Okay. So 9:30. 9:30 tomorrow is what time we're going to do this video. Okay. So let's get into the math. So today we're going to be in triangles. If you have your book, we're on page 915. Okay. If you have your book, we're on page 915. We're talking triangles. Okay. Specifically classifying triangles. So for some of us, we've already got that. It's going to be easy peasy lemon squeezy. And for some of us, we don't. And it's going to be a little bit of a struggle. Okay. But either way, difficult, lemon, difficult. Okay. That was what Hannah said. No, I can't read your background, but that's because I can't really look. So let me go ahead and start screen sharing. Let's get into the book. Ta-da, ta-da, ta-da. Triangles. Okay, so again, we're on page 915. So classifying triangles. Okay, you can classify them by their attributes. Okay, an attribute is basically a characteristic or description of something. In this case, an attribute is a characteristic of a figure with like side measurements and angle measures. Okay, so an attribute is something that you have that is tangible that people can see. Okay, like Mr. Wright is so tall. That's a great attribute, right? Or Mr. Wright has such long hair. That's a great attribute, right? Those are clearly fake attributes, but they're attributes that people can physically, tangibly see on something. Okay. So there's going to be a couple of trains of thoughts on how to classify them. Okay. So let's go through example one. So example one reads, the Hammond family traveled from Columbus, Ohio to Dallas, Texas, and then to Atlanta, Georgia before returning home. The distance of each flight is shown on the map. Find the number of congruent sides. So we have 924, we have 729, and then we have 573. So none of those are congruent. None of those are the exact same. So that means there are 0 congruent sides. Let's not do that. Okay. So none of those have congruent sides. So what that means is when we come down here to our key concepts, no sides congruent means that that triangle up there is scalene. Okay. So scalene would have been our answer for what kind of triangle that was, because it has 0 sides congruent. But we come over here to 2 sides are congruent. That is an isosceles triangle. So see 3 and 3. Okay. So if it has no sides, it's scalene. If it has 2 sides, it's isosceles. If it has 3 sides, it's equilateral. Okay. That means all sides are equal. Those are the big concepts that you're going to have to know for this right now. Okay. So 1, 2, 3. Bum, bum, bum. But there's another set of key concepts that you also need to know, okay? And that's right here on this page. So let's look at example 2. It says triangles from the sides of the Khafre pyramid in Egypt. Determine the number of acute, obtuse, and right angles of the triangle. So we can clearly say that there's no right triangle because that's not 90 degrees, that's not 90 degrees, that's not 90 degrees. Okay? So right triangle, there are 0. I would say none of these are also obtuse because none of these are bigger than a 90-degree angle. So I would say this is acute, this is acute, and this is acute. So I would call this an acute triangle. Okay? So acute is a small angle. So small. It's smaller than 90 degrees, right? It's so small, it's cute. Okay? So a right triangle has a 90-degree angle. Okay? Just look at a corner, and that's 90 degrees. Obtuse is bigger than 90 degrees. Okay? So if y'all can't use the chat function properly, I'll disable the chat. And then the only way you'll be able to communicate is by raising your hand with the app. Okay? You don't want that, I don't want that. But I also don't need to be hearing about, look at my giant cake. Or random, pew, pew, pew. Okay? Because literally it makes me stop the entire thing and go check and see what you're doing. Okay? Not okay. So, you have to know 6 attributes of a triangle. 6. That's it. So, acute means tiny angles, right? Because they're so small, they're acute. Right means it has a right angle. Obtuse means it has one side that's bigger than 90 degrees. When we go back over here, isosceles means it had 2 sides the same. Equilateral means it has 3 sides the same. Scalene means it has 0 sides the same. Okay? So, what I want you to do is I want you to try 1 and 2. I want you to tell me these 2 things. Okay? Is it isosceles, scalene, or equilateral? And then what kind of angles does it have? Okay? So take 2 minutes, put that in the chat, but don't send it just yet. Okay? So I'm gonna give you about 2 minutes. You can eat cereal in front of the screen. So if you have those answers, go ahead and put them in the chat. So I wanted you to use both key concept tables. So I wanted you to tell me if it was isosceles, scalene, and equilateral. And then I wanted you to tell me if it was acute, right, or obtuse. Hey, Gael, can you hear me? Hey, Gael, you're unmuted, buddy. Talk to me. What's going on? Gael, do you have a mic, buddy? If you find, okay, you're good. I'll mute you then. Let's see here. Alejandra. Yeah. So I want you to talk me through your logic on number 1.
Okay. So I use both tables on number 1, and in the number 1 I got obtuse, and I don't know how to say it.
Is it the I1 or the E1?
The I.
The isosceles.
Yeah.
Absolutely right. So how did you come to isosceles?
Because they have the exact same, when you add the numbers on number 1 and the other one, the I, it's the same number once you add it.
So literally all you have to do is look at the triangle. So Alejandro, I'm gonna mute you again, Alejandro. Okay? So since there's 2 and 2, it's isosceles. So we go back and we use this table. So we have 2 sides the same, so that means we have isosceles. And then we come look at it, we're looking for acute, right, or obtuse angles. Psst. If it has one obtuse angle, the whole thing is obtuse. If it has one obtuse angle, the whole thing is obtuse. If it has one right triangle, the whole thing is a right triangle. Okay? So that's how we classified number 1. Pretty quick, pretty easy. It's just a mindset and going through the steps and going through the process. Okay? Oh, let's see here. Who am I going to pick on for number 2? Does anybody want to describe number 2? Let me ask that first. Muhammad was the first one I saw, so Muhammad's the one I'm going to go to. Muhammad, you should be unmuted. Are you unmuted? No, you're not unmuted.
Yeah.
Now you're unmuted. Okay. Talk me through number 2.
It is obtuse, and so that makes it, and it has no sides congruent. So it's a scalene triangle, and it is obtuse triangle. That's it.
So, which angle do you think is obtuse?
The top. No, it isn't. Never mind.
Okay. So if it's not, what would you classify it as?
Acute.
Okay. So
Every time
I'm going to mute you again, Muhammad, okay? So I hate triangles that don't give you true descriptions of them. So just looking at this shape, sometimes it's hard to get everything just right. It really is. So, but he knew it was scalene, okay? He knew it was scalene, so he was half correct. And a lot of these are going to ask you to explain why you think your reasoning is right and why you think your reasoning is wrong. or some of them will. Today they may not specifically, but in the future they will. He said, I think this angle is the angle. So he could put a factual point. I think this angle is bigger than 90 degrees. And let's be honest, of the shape, that is the biggest one. So it's not, yeah, you can go and start it. So it's not necessarily that he was wrong. His eyes misled him. But that's fine. That happens sometimes. You just have to be able to describe, hey, I think it's here. Here's why. Okay? But at all times, you should be able to get these key concepts. Sometimes the angles may get a little tricky though. Okay? So before I tell us numbers on independent practice, do we have questions, concerns, anything you need to ask before we go over there? Do I need to go over another one? Are we still confused? Are we good? What can I do to help this? So Matthew, it's going to be the same logic as yesterday. If you have to physically draw, if you're doing it in your book, yes, I would love for you to do that. However, if you're doing it on Google Docs, then no, you do not have to draw. Okay. Okay. Gael, yes, I am. So what we're going to do is we're going to do 3 through 12. Okay. We're going to do 3 through 12. However, if you are working in your book, do the drawings. If you are not, just skip them. Okay. Because you can't draw on Google Docs. Okay. So 3 through 12. Okay. Is everybody good with that? 3 through 12. So again, I'm going to remind us one more time. Tomorrow, our video will be at 9:30. It will not be at 10. Okay. Remember, tomorrow our video will be at 9:30. It will not be at 10. Same thing on Friday because I have a 10 o'clock appointment on Friday as well. Okay. So tomorrow's 9:30. Friday's 9:30. Alejandra, you have your
I don't really get question 3 on the independent practice.
okay. So it says determine the number of congruent sides for each triangle. Then classify the triangle based on its size. Guess what? It's not asking for you to say, is it acute? Is it obtuse? Is it right angle? It's literally asking, is it isosceles?
I couldn't hear you. Can you repeat that, Mr.
Yeah. So it's not asking for acute. It's not asking for right. It's not asking for obtuse. It's really just asking, is it isosceles? Sides the same. It's equilateral. It has all three sides.
So at number 5, 6, 7, 8 is for the right and acute and obtuse?
Correct.
Okay, thank you, Mr. 8.
No problem. Hey, Gael, I'll double check and I'll dojo mom or dad. Okay. So that way I can tell them directly. Okay. Kaylee, what is your specific question? And I can answer it. Were you asking, do you want me to repeat what I just told Alejandra, but without her unmuted? It is page 917 is the page. So 3 and 4 are asking for the side clarification. So it's asking for isosceles, which is 2 sides the same, equilateral, which is 3 sides the same, or scalene, which is 0 sides the same. That's what 3 and 4 are asking. However, 5, 6, 7, and 8 are asking for you to use the right angles, acute, or obtuse. No, you don't have to add. You are simply comparing them to see if they're all the same, if they're not the same, anything like that. So you do not have to add them in any way. Hey, Kaylee, you're unmuted.
Oh. So, I'm still confused.
Okay, look at number 3. Are any of the sides the same?
No.
No. So what would you classify that triangle as?
A scalene triangle.
Boom, that's all it's asking.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so 3 and 4 are asking just for the side descriptions. That's on the first page. 5, 6, 7, and 8 are asking for the angle description, which is the second table. So acute, obtuse, and right.
Okay.
Okay, does that make better sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So anybody else, questions, concerns, anything else I can kind of talk you through? Well, Alejandra's got her hand raised again. Do you still have your hand raised, or was it just the same one?
The same one. I accidentally left it raised.
No worries. Hey, Jay, did you have your hand raised?
No, it was an accident.
Okay, no worries. I didn't tell you the answer to number 4. You have to do the work on that one. Catherine, do you have your hand raised? Catherine. Hold on, Catherine. You do know there's a function that raises your hand on the computer. So,
I know, but I'm too lazy to press too many buttons, so I just was
well, it gives me a notification that says you raised your hand.
Okay.
Right now,
Um,
I can only see 4 of your screens because I have everybody else where I don't see all 20 screens when I share my screen.
Okay. Is it okay if I do the work in the book and then copy it onto the document?
If you do the work in the book, why not just take a picture of it and send it that way?
Okay.
I mean, that's what quite a few people do, and it's super easy for me to read and everything else. And then that way you don't have to do double the work. You don't have to, but you can if you want. Okay? So what numbers you have to do are 3 through 12. Okay? 3 through 12. Caesar, what you got, buddy?
So on number 3 and 4, we have to put what?
You have to put if it's scalene, equilateral, or isosceles.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all you got to do on it. What you got?
Do we skip the ones that we have to draw?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, if you have to draw it, if you're doing it in the book, I would like you to do it. But if you are doing it on a Google Doc, then skip it.
Okay.
Okay. So, anybody else, questions, concerns, anything I can help with?